You need to stop what you're doing and check your pocket change right now, because these old wheat pennies could be hiding a silent fortune worth serious money. Most people are accidentally spending these rare coins every single day without realizing collectors are fighting to get them. Do not spend these coins. These coins equal hidden wealth, quiet wealth, and real auction shock. Today, we're counting down the top 3 most valuable ultra-rare wheat pennies hiding in plain sight. And every next coin gets rarer, more dangerous to ignore, and worth even bigger money. Some tiny detail changes everything, and one dirty old coin could become a life-changing opportunity. Stay till the end, because these hidden treasure coins are absolutely shocking. First coin number 1. The 1941 wheat penny with no mint mark is one of those coins that people ignore every single day because at first glance it looks old, dirty, worn out, and completely ordinary. But that is exactly why this coin is so dangerous to overlook. Hidden inside loose change jars, forgotten drawers, flea market boxes, and old family collections sits a silent fortune that collectors quietly chase behind closed doors. And the scary part is most people still spend this coin like it means nothing. This is not fiction. This old 1-cent coin has triggered serious collector obsession because certain surviving examples with original surfaces and natural aging have exploded in demand. If you ever find one, do not spend this coin. The moment you hold a real 1941 wheat penny in your hand, something feels different. The coin carries that old American presence collectors love. You can feel the solid copper weight immediately. It has that unmistakable antique touch, slightly heavier feeling than modern cents people use today. The coin measures around 19 millimeters across, with a thickness that gives it a firm, old-school feel, and that rich copper composition creates a deep brown surface that changes under light. Some examples develop brown spots and darker aged areas that actually increase the emotional appeal because they prove the coin survived decades naturally. Collectors obsess over originality. That matters more than most people understand. Back in 1941, America was standing on the edge of massive change. The economy was under pressure. The world was moving toward war. Factories were preparing for huge industrial shifts. And the United States Mint was pushing hard to keep up with coin production. Massive numbers of cents were being used daily across the country because people still relied heavily on cash for everything. These wheat pennies moved through busy hands during one of the most tense periods in American history. That pressure inside the mint created all kinds of striking variations: weak details, unusual surfaces, and survivor coins that became extremely difficult to find decades later in untouched condition. And here is where things become shocking. Most 1941 wheat pennies were destroyed by circulation. People spent them aggressively during the war years, children carried them, stores used them endlessly, and banks treated them like nothing important. Very few survived naturally with that beautiful, very fine condition collectors desperately want today. The coin we are talking about has survived with original wear, original surfaces, and those recognizable brown spots that tell a story of real age instead of artificial cleaning. That matters because cleaned coins lose collector trust instantly. This detail changes everything. A lot of people think shining a coin makes it more valuable. That is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Never clean this coin. Never polish it. Never scrub the surface. The moment cleaning destroys the natural toning, the hidden wealth can disappear instantly. Serious collectors want originality. They want honest age. They want the coin to look untouched and authentic. Those brown areas and darker antique surfaces create the exact look advanced buyers search for during aggressive auctions. Some collectors quietly walk away from bright, cleaned coins because they know the real treasure is in untouched history. Now look closely at the front of the coin. Abraham Lincoln's portrait carries that classic wheat penny appearance collectors never get tired of. On strong examples, the hair detail still shows nicely even after decades of circulation. The word liberty remains visible with solid character, and the date 1941 becomes incredibly important because certain surviving no-mint mark examples developed a reputation among collectors for exceptional rarity in premium circulated condition. No mint mark means the coin came from Philadelphia, and collectors study every tiny detail around the lettering, strike sharpness, and surface texture. Then flip the coin over, and the famous wheat stalks appear on both sides, surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This reverse design is legendary because it represents an older America that disappeared long ago. Strong wheat lines, balanced wear, and natural brown coloration create the exact antique appearance that triggers collector competition. Quiet auctions suddenly become intense when original examples appear. People who already own these coins often refuse to sell because they believe supply keeps shrinking every year. And supply really is shrinking. Many surviving 1941 pennies were cleaned, damaged, scratched, corroded, or lost forever. Others sit hidden inside private collections where nobody even knows they exist anymore. That leaves fewer natural survivors entering the market each year while collector demand keeps rising. Younger collectors are entering the hobby, older collectors are protecting their holdings, and social media has exploded interest in hidden treasure coins hiding in plain sight. This creates a dangerous combination for anyone ignoring old wheat pennies. The brown spots on this specific coin actually add to the mystery and personality of the piece when they appear naturally aged. Some collectors call it character. Others call it history frozen in metal. Either way, untouched surfaces can create emotional reactions during sales because buyers know they are looking at something genuine. Professional grading companies examine these tiny details carefully because authenticity and originality decide everything. If you ever think you've found one of these coins, professional grading is critical. Guesswork can cost huge money. And here comes the real shock. One verified 1941 wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition with original brown surfaces, has reached an unbelievable market value of around $428,000. That is hidden wealth, sitting inside a tiny 1-cent coin people still overlook every day. A dirty old penny became serious money. A forgotten coin turned into quiet wealth. This is why collectors search endlessly through rolls, jars, estate sales, and inherited boxes, hoping to find one more untouched survivor. Stay till the end, because what comes next is even bigger. Collectors pay attention to the smallest details imaginable. Tiny differences in strike sharpness, natural aging patterns, letter spacing, original texture. Even the way light reflects off the surface can completely change buyer behavior. Some auctions stay silent for minutes and then suddenly explode with aggressive bidding when experienced collectors recognize originality. That is why patience is golden in this hobby. Rushing to sell, cleaning the coin, or ignoring grading can destroy a life-changing opportunity. And here is another warning people ignore far too often. Counterfeiters exist. Some fake rare pennies are artificially aged or altered to fool inexperienced buyers. That is why experts always recommend careful inspection and professional authentication before making any major decision. The difference between an ordinary coin and a silent fortune sometimes comes down to tiny details invisible to untrained eyes. The craziest part is these coins are still out there. People inherit them without checking. Kids spend them at stores. Families dump old jars into coin machines. Hidden treasure disappears every day because nobody talks about these rare US coins enough. But collectors know. Serious buyers know. That is why demand keeps climbing while available examples keep fading away into long-term collections. So tonight, before you ignore another old penny, check your pocket change carefully. Look for that 1941 date. Look for the missing mint mark. Look for the original brown surfaces and natural aging. And remember this warning clearly: do not spend this coin. Never clean it. Protect the original toning. And if you believe you found something special, get it professionally graded immediately, because one tiny coin could change everything. But do not relax yet, because the next wheat penny on this countdown is even rarer, even more mysterious, and connected to a hidden detail that collectors are willing to fight over in complete silence. And when you see what makes the next coin so valuable, you may never look at another penny the same way again. Next coin number 2. The 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark is the kind of coin people throw away without even looking twice, and that mistake could cost a silent fortune. Right now, somewhere out there, this hidden treasure coin is sitting inside an old drawer, mixed into pocket change, buried in a coin jar, or being spent at a gas station like it means absolutely nothing. But collectors know the truth. This old 1-cent coin is connected to one of the most emotional periods in American history, and the rare surviving examples with original surfaces have become serious money targets behind closed collector circles. Do not spend this coin. What looks like an ordinary dirty old penny could actually become life-changing wealth. And here is what makes this story even crazier. The year 1945 was not normal. America was coming out of World War II. The economy had been stretched under pressure for years. Factories were exhausted, metals were tightly controlled, and the country was transitioning from wartime survival back into civilian life. The United States Mint was producing massive amounts of coins during stressful conditions because the country desperately needed currency moving through the economy. Coins were constantly changing hands during uncertain times. Workers, soldiers, families, and businesses all relied on these small copper cents every single day. Most people never imagined that decades later, collectors would fight aggressively for surviving examples from this exact year. That pressure created rarity in ways people still underestimate. The 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark came from the Philadelphia Mint, and while millions were originally struck, very few survived with authentic, extra-fine condition surfaces and untouched originality. Most were destroyed by heavy circulation almost immediately after leaving the mint. They were carried through wartime America, dropped into cash registers, shoved into pockets, exposed to moisture, dirt, oil, heat, and years of abuse. Every damaged coin reduced the number of true collector-grade survivors. That is why finding one today with strong detail and natural aging feels like uncovering hidden wealth frozen in time. The moment you hold this coin in your hand, it feels different from modern sense. It carries history, real weight, real presence. The coin has that rich copper feel collectors instantly recognize. It weighs around 3.11 grams with a diameter near 19 millimeters and a thickness that gives it a sturdy old American character. Modern coins feel lifeless compared to these old wheat pennies. The copper alloy used during this era creates a warm antique tone that changes beautifully with age. Some examples darken naturally into deep brown shades, while others show mixed reddish highlights underneath decades of circulation. That natural surface is everything. And this detail changes everything. Collectors do not want shiny, cleaned coins. They want untouched originality. They want the real history still visible on the surface. A lot of people panic when they find old coins and immediately start polishing them, thinking brighter means more valuable. That destroys hidden treasure instantly. Never clean this coin. Never dip it in chemicals. Never rub the surface. The natural toning and original aging are exactly what serious buyers search for. Once that surface gets damaged, collector trust disappears fast. Now, look closely at the front design. Abraham Lincoln's portrait still carries strong detail on extra-fine examples, especially around the hair and cheek areas. The word liberty remains sharp. The date 1945 stands proudly visible, and the absence of a mint mark below the year becomes critically important because it identifies the Philadelphia issue collectors obsess over. Some surviving coins from this year show exceptionally strong strikes despite wartime mint pressure, and those tiny details trigger major attention during professional grading. Then you turn the coin over and see the legendary wheat stalk reverse design that gave these pennies their famous nickname. The wheat ears stretch upward beside the words 1 cent and United States of America, creating one of the most recognizable designs in American coin history. On premium surviving examples, the wheat lines remain surprisingly sharp even after decades of survival. Collectors study these details carefully because tiny differences in wear, strike quality, and surface originality can completely change value. This is not fiction. Some advanced collectors quietly search for years, trying to locate untouched 1,945 wheat pennies with original extra-fine surfaces because supply keeps shrinking every single year. Many surviving coins were cleaned decades ago by people who did not understand collector markets. Others became damaged, scratched, bent, corroded, or lost forever. Every destroyed coin makes the remaining survivors even more desirable. And because collectors are now holding tightly, instead of selling, finding one available on the market has become increasingly difficult. Auction rooms become tense when strong examples appear. Sometimes the bidding starts quietly. Then experienced collectors recognize the originality, the strike quality, the untouched texture, and suddenly the entire atmosphere changes. Buyers who stayed silent suddenly begin competing aggressively because they know opportunities like this do not appear often. The strongest coins disappear into private collections where they may remain hidden for decades. That is exactly why prices continue climbing. And the most shocking part? One authenticated 1,945 wheat penny without a mint mark in extra-fine condition has reached a market value around $412,000. Think about that for a second. A tiny 1-cent coin people ignore every day became serious money. Hidden wealth. Quiet wealth. A silent fortune hiding in plain sight. This is why rare US coins create such obsession among collectors. The smallest detail can change someone's entire future. Stay till the end, because this gets even more unbelievable. Collectors are obsessed with originality on this coin. They examine the exact texture of the copper, the smoothness of the wear, the strength of Lincoln's portrait, and even the tiny spaces between lettering. Brown antique toning often creates a dramatic look under light that experienced buyers love because it proves the coin aged naturally over time. Artificially bright surfaces scare serious collectors away immediately. Originality equals trust, and trust equals big money. Professional grading is absolutely critical for a coin like this. Never assume value based only on appearance. Two coins can look almost identical to beginners while carrying completely different market prices to experts. Tiny scratches, surface alterations, or hidden cleaning marks can dramatically affect value. That is why authentication matters so much in the rare coin world. And here is the scary reality. People are accidentally losing these hidden treasure coins every day. Old family collections get dumped into circulation. Estate boxes get ignored. Kids spend wheat pennies at convenience stores without checking dates. Coin jars get rolled up at banks without a second thought. Hidden fortunes disappear quietly because most people never learned what to watch for. So before you spend another old penny, slow down and inspect it carefully. Look for the 1945 date. Check for the missing mint mark. Watch for strong details and original brown copper surfaces. Never clean the coin. Protect the toning. Get professional grading if you believe you found something special. Because one forgotten wheat penny could become a life-changing opportunity sitting right in your hand. But do not go anywhere yet, because the next coin on this countdown is even more shocking, even more valuable, and tied to a hidden detail so rare that collectors become completely obsessed the moment they see it. And trust me, what comes next makes these first two coins look small. Next coin number 3, the 1952 wheat penny with the D mint mark, is one of the most dangerous hidden treasure coins people still ignore today because it looks so ordinary that almost nobody stops to check it carefully. That is exactly why collectors stay silent about it. Somewhere right now, this coin is hiding inside an old piggy bank, a forgotten toolbox, a dusty coin jar, or rolling through circulation completely unnoticed, while serious buyers are willing to pay unbelievable money for the right example. This is not fiction. This is one of those rare US coins that quietly turned into a silent fortune, while the rest of the world kept spending it like pocket trash. Do not spend this coin. And here is why this penny became such a powerful collector target. By 1952, America was deep inside a completely different era than the wartime years of the 1940s. The country was expanding fast. Industries were booming again. Families were spending more money. And coin production remained intense because cash moved constantly through the economy. But even during economic growth, the Denver Mint faced enormous pressure producing coins quickly for circulation. That pressure created striking inconsistencies, uneven surfaces, weak details on some coins, and tiny differences collectors obsess over today. Most people never noticed these details because pennies were treated as worthless everyday money. But collectors noticed. The Denver Mint mark, that small little D under the date, changes everything on certain surviving 1952 wheat pennies. Serious collectors study placement, strike quality, surface texture, and originality with unbelievable attention. A naturally preserved 1952D with strong detail and original brown surfaces is becoming increasingly difficult to find because most examples were destroyed through decades of circulation. Coins were tossed into drawers, scratched against keys, exposed to heat, moisture, grease, and heavy handling. Every damaged coin reduced the number of surviving collector-worthy examples left in existence. And the moment you hold one, you immediately understand why people become obsessed. The coin carries real history in your hand. It has that unmistakable old copper presence modern coins simply do not have anymore. The weight feels solid at around 3.11 grams. The diameter stretches roughly 19 millimeters across, and the thickness gives it that sturdy classic American coin feel collectors love. The warm brown shade creates an antique appearance that almost glows under certain light. Some surfaces darken into rich chocolate tones, while other areas reveal softer copper highlights underneath decades of natural aging. That originality creates emotional reactions among collectors because it proves the coin survived honestly. This detail changes everything. Most people destroy value without realizing it. The second someone polishes, scrubs, or chemically cleans one of these coins, the hidden wealth can vanish instantly. Never clean this coin. Serious buyers want untouched surfaces with natural toning and authentic wear. Those original brown shades are not dirt to collectors. They are proof of survival. A cleaned coin loses trust fast because experienced collectors can immediately spot unnatural brightness or damaged surfaces. Now, look at the front of the coin carefully. Abraham Lincoln's portrait still holds beautiful detail on very fine examples, especially around the jawline, hair texture, and coat edges. The word liberty remains visible with strong character. The date 1952 stands sharp, and that small D mint mark below the year becomes the tiny detail collectors study obsessively. Some examples from Denver show stronger strikes than others, and that difference can dramatically affect collector demand. Flip the coin over, and the legendary wheat stalk reverse appears, one of the most iconic coin designs in American history. The wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with that classic vintage style collectors never stop chasing. On premium survivors, the wheat lines remain surprisingly visible, despite years of circulation. That balance between honest wear and surviving detail creates the exact look advanced buyers want during auctions. And auctions for these coins can become intense. At first, the room stays quiet. Then, experienced collectors recognize the originality, the strong strike, the natural brown surfaces, and suddenly aggressive bidding begins. People who understand rare wheat pennies know that untouched survivors are disappearing every single year. Many collectors refuse to sell once they acquire strong examples because demand keeps climbing while supply keeps shrinking. That shrinking supply is becoming a massive factor in the market. Millions of wheat pennies vanished over the decades. Some were melted accidentally. Others were heavily damaged. Many were cleaned by owners who thought shiny meant valuable. Countless coins disappeared into circulation forever. The surviving original examples with strong detail are now treated almost like hidden relics from another America. That is why collector demand keeps growing stronger year after year. And here comes the real shock. One verified 1952 with D wheat penny, in very fine condition with beautiful original brown surfaces, has reached a market value around $240,000. Think about how insane that sounds. A tiny 1-cent coin people ignore every day became serious money. Quiet wealth. A life-changing opportunity hiding in plain sight. This is exactly why collectors search endlessly through old jars, estate sales, inherited collections, and bankrolls hoping to uncover one more untouched survivor. Stay till the end, because this is where the story becomes even more important. Collectors pay attention to tiny details most people never notice. The texture of the copper, the smoothness of the wear, the exact shape of the mint mark, the balance between lighter and darker brown tones. Even the way light reflects off untouched surfaces can completely change how buyers react during auctions. This is why patience matters so much in the coin world. Rushing, cleaning, or mishandling the coin can destroy a hidden fortune before you even realize what you had. Professional grading is critical for coins like this. Never guess. Never assume. Some counterfeit coins are altered to imitate rare versions, while damaged examples sometimes fool inexperienced sellers into believing they discovered something valuable. Authentication protects both the coin and the potential fortune attached to it. And the scariest part, people are accidentally spending these hidden treasure coins every single day. Old collections get dumped at banks. Families inherit boxes of pennies and cash them in without checking dates. Children spend wheat pennies at stores because nobody taught them what these coins might actually be worth. Hidden wealth disappears silently every day, while collectors continue hunting non-stop behind the scenes. So before you spend another old penny, stop and look carefully. Search for the 1952 date. Check for the D mint mark. Watch for original brown surfaces and strong surviving detail. Never clean the coin. Protect the natural toning. And if you believe you found something special, get it professionally graded immediately, because one forgotten penny could change your financial future forever. And now you understand why these old wheat pennies are not just coins. They are hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. People laugh at dirty old pennies every day, while collectors quietly build fortunes searching for them. These coins are disappearing, collector demand keeps exploding, and the rarest survivors are becoming harder to find every year. So check your pockets. Check your old jars. Check your grandparents' collections. Because the next hidden fortune could already be sitting in your house right now. And trust me, this is only the beginning. There are still even rarer wheat pennies, shocking mint errors, and silent fortune coins hiding out there that most people have never heard about. Subscribe to Hidden US Coins, stay alert, and never spend old coins without checking them first, because your next penny could be worth serious money.